arch is a construction that basically uses two forces, the weight of two forces to basically hold each other up, and use one stone to basically push the weight away from each other. So they hold each other up and push the weight away from one another. And once they're able to develop these arches, they're able to create domes. They're able to create massive things for tribute parades to honor great accomplishments. Here you see the Arch of Constantine. Constantine the Great, as you might remember, is the one who moves the capital to Constantinople, who splits the empire into an Eastern and Western empire, and it'll be the first to adopt Christianity. And another big innovation that they're able to create with the arch, remember, one innovation builds another one. Concrete enables them to make the arch. The arch allows them to build aqueducts. Aqueducts are these elevated tunnels that carry water thousands of miles across their empire. They're able to bring water from freshwater springs not only just to Rome, but to their cities throughout their empire. The fact that you had running water all throughout this massive empire that stretched from Portugal to Persia, from Scotland to the Sahara, is amazing. It's such an amazing innovation. And get this, many of the aqueducts that the Romans constructed still work today. There is water that is in Rome that is carried by aqueducts that were built by the Roman Empire 2,000 years ago. Let's watch this quick little video to get a little bit more of an idea of how an aqueduct works.
The challenge for the Roman engineers was to keep the water flowing at the same speed on its entire journey. To get around hills, they dug trenches along the contour lines and covered them with bricks and earth. To cross wide valleys, they funneled the water down through lead pipes and up again on the other side. To conquer high mountains, they dug deep tunnels right through them and shafts in their roof for ventilation. To cross long distances on even ground, they built flat walls with a trough in the top. And to channel the water into Rome without obstructing traffic, they built the majestic arched aqueducts we know today. These plumbed into a network of fountains that fed water to 1 million Romans. Today, Rome's fountains are still safe to drink from. And because they always keep the water flowing, they stop the city's pipes from clogging up.
That is just amazing to me. Then not only you can see the water being carried, excuse me, the water being carried on this aqueduct that was built by the Romans 2,000 years ago, that still feeds parts of Italy today, fresh, clean, drinkable water. You don't have life without water, and the Romans were able to spread irrigation and the carrying of water in a way that was beyond anything that had been used. Think about this. This is 2,000 years ago, and many people in their homes had running water. Many people were able to have in their homes heated water. That's nuts. When you think of like what America was like 200 years ago, they didn't have that. Yet the Romans were able to have that. That's crazy. One of the big parts of Roman culture that is made possible by this is the Roman baths. Every day after work, Romans would go to a bath. It was almost kind of like a gymnasium where they would do exercise and then they would get like cleaned off. It was like a social occasion. They had libraries there. They would swim. And in a Roman bath, there was like multiple different parts. When you first came in, there was like a changing area. And of course, it's the Romans. So they had slaves that dressed you. They had guards that protected your valuables. Then they had a whole exercise area with weights, wrestling, all sorts of things. They had an outdoor pools to swim and refresh in. That were they had a whole area with the caldarium, where they would heat the tiles, heat the room, and they would have these heated rooms that they could go into and sweat out, almost like a steam bath or a sauna. So you had like warm tile floors. This is 2,000 years ago. They don't have electricity. They don't have any of that, but they had a running water system. And then they would have a tepidarium where like slaves would rub oil on them and scrape their skin before they go and jump into ice cold water to kind of end their time and refresh themselves. And they did this every day. And that was able to be made possible with the baths. And Roman baths are still usable today, many of them. Still usable. They still carry fresh water into them. They can still use the same methods if they want to heat them. That's just amazing to me. Many of the fountains in Rome are also usable today. And they carry water in them from aqueducts, which is, again, just an amazing achievement. Not just that they're able to build it for themselves, but they're able to build something that lasts to the present day. That's amazing. They're also able to use water to carry away their waste, not above ground in gutters, but underground in sewers. Carry away waste, carry away all the bad stuff. And their ability to then use arches and cement to build these underground passageways, this whole city underground, allowed, once Christianity became the official religion, they were able to convert these underground passageways into underground tombs. Because in the Christian faith, they didn't want to burn the deceased, which had been the tradition in the old faith of the Romans, worshiping Jupiter and the pantheon and gods. But they didn't have any space in Rome to bury people. So they used these massive catacombs to be able to house the dead. And early on in the church, when it was still legal, they would also worship down in these catacombs. So they'd bury their dead and make them into their illegal churches where they could practice their religion. You can still go to the catacombs today, although it's a bit ghastly. Oh, look, they're making arches. There you see it again. So which of the innovations that we discussed in this lesson do you think had the greatest impact on empowering the Romans to build such a large and lasting empire? That's going to wrap up this lesson for Thursday. Your spring break starts today. Yay. This afternoon, and I hope you have a great time. I'm going to be posting up a lesson for tomorrow based off of the last issue in the packet. You can do it voluntarily if you like, or turn it in on Monday when we get back. You can take the whole break to work on it. I'm also going to throw up some videos on our Google Classroom throughout the break, and if you post up a couple things that you learned about it by watching it underneath in the comments, I'll count it as extra credit towards your project grades. Those of you who missed a couple assignments during our first couple weeks of setting up distance learning, this could be a great way for you to fill in some of those missing grades. So, thanks again. I can't wait to start working with you again when we get back from the break, and I really do miss you guys. Thanks for everything. Have a great one, and if you're celebrating a holiday, enjoy it.